One thing I got to say, and who knows, the talking point it'll become over the summer is Kuemper. I mean, would you even say he was average throughout this playoff run?
He was like average to below average.
Like,
and they
he was like acceptable. Like, we'll put it that way. The advanced stats guys are fucking happy right now because how they all point to, don't spend on a goalie. Do not spend on a goalie. And a couple of weeks ago, we were sitting here and everybody was saying, Shesterkin, Vasilevsky, you need a goalie. You don't. And you look back, yeah, good goalies win Stanley Cups. But as long as your goaltending doesn't lose it for you, you have a chance. So you can put that money elsewhere. And there's also the matter of an average, less expensive goalie can have a good few weeks. People forget that aspect of it too. So I'd say on the side that feels that way, that you shouldn't drop the bank on a goalie. I mean, there are exceptions to the rule like Shesterkin or Vasilevsky, but I think in most cases, in most situations teams are dealing with, just try to get average goaltending at a decent salary. Something that doesn't hurt you too much on the cap, and spend that money in other places on guys that are harder to get, or hard to get, I should say.
That's a great point, Lepore. Looking at their stats, Kuemper played 16 games during the playoff run. So he was in net for 10 of the 16 wins, posted a .902 save percentage.
Below average.
.902. And I'll bet you if we look at his goals saved above expected, there's different websites that have these numbers. Looking at Money Puck, goals saved above expected. Let's go scroll down and look where Darcy Kuemper finished off here. Oh my goodness. -4.2 goals saved above expected.
In 16 games.
In the Stanley Cup playoffs.
That's bad.
And then if you look at Pavel Francouz, who was in net for 6 of those 16 wins, his goals saved above expected, 0.5. And he finished with a .906 save percentage. So they essentially got average to below average goaltending and went 16-4 in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah, man.
So you bring up a great point. The analytics people, they are popping champagne after this Colorado Avalanche Stanley Cup run. It just goes to show you don't need, I mean, it's great if you have Andrei Vasilevsky or Igor Shesterkin. That's fantastic if you have one of the best goalies in the league on your team. But you really don't need that elite goalie to win a cup. And Colorado just proved it. If you have an incredible roster that plays fast, if you have a defense core that can move the puck quickly out of the zone, don't spend a lot of time in your own end, you don't need the best goalie in the world to win a championship. You just simply do not.
It's a tough one because, I mean, on last week's show, I believe it was when we were talking about, is Vasilevsky the GOAT? Or if he wins the cup, will he be the greatest goalie of all time? So I was on the side that he very well may be the best goalie I've ever seen. But this is a tough one, man. If someone asked me right now, Andrei Vasilevsky is a UFA. If you're Toronto, what number would you give him? End term. I wouldn't know. It'd be tough because everyone, I mean, you say, 10, like I wouldn't give him like 10 million. I wouldn't dedicate $10 million to goaltending regardless of who's in the net. But then it's like, well, you'd have to give him pretty close to that because he's a UFA and he is who he is. And then there's the term aspect, how whoever it is, it scares the shit out of you because it's a goalie. So you're going to have to give more on both sides, and I mean term and money, than what you really want to get him. But I don't know. Like, I don't even know what number I'd be comfortable with, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Well, because right now he makes $9.5 million.
Yeah, like,
and
I don't know.
Signed to a big contract.
Yeah,
that was a 8-year deal for $76 million. And next year is only the 3rd year of that 8-year deal. So he's under contract for another 6 years.
Yeah. See, that's part of my thinking too, is that like if he was a UFA now, like if he was UFA 4 years ago, or when you started to see him like say, I guess like in Shesterkin's case where he's kind of peaking now, maybe it'd be a little different. But I'm not saying like I wouldn't sign him, or like, it's tough for me.
It's tough. No, it really is tough because as great as he is, you know, you just watch Colorado win the cup with Darcy Kuemper and Pavel Francouz.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there'd be a team out there that would get Vasilevsky like $10 to $11 million if he was a UFA. But I think a lot of the smart teams would stay away from that. I really do.
Well, you said what he's in year what of the deal?
This was only the 2nd year of that deal. So next year is the third year of the deal.
So he has
of
4
his
full
8 year,
years
$76 million contract.
So he has 4 full seasons left.
No, he's got 6 full seasons
left.
It was
okay. It wasn't 6 years. Sorry, it was 6, not a 6-year deal. It was an 8-year deal, 6 years left. Okay, so then if the Leafs could sign Vasilevsky today for $9.5 million times 6, would you do it?
Well, you're gonna have to take away someone from the core.
But beyond that, no. But I'm saying, like, if they
would I do it? Oh God, man,
it's funny, eh? And like, I know people are like, "Fuck you," of course you.
I'm
would,
like 50-50 on it, man.
Exactly. Like, I wouldn't call anyone stupid for doing it, but at the same time, be like, it's not a slam dunk. I'll put it this way: comparatively, that's what Makar makes. Where if it's Makar, I wouldn't even breathe.
Yeah, I'm taking the player all day. Yeah, I've been in this camp for a long time. Like, if you gave me an elite goalie and an elite forward, and they're both within, let's say 1 to 2 to 3 years of each other, if someone's like significantly older or younger, that's a different story. But if they're around the same age, I am always taking either the elite forward or the elite defenseman over the elite goalie. It's as simple as that.
I guess this would be the perfect comparison. So we'll call Kuemper average. If we can make a trade with Tampa and get Vasilevsky and an average defenseman, or make a trade with Colorado and get Makar and Kuemper, which one would you do?
Oh, yeah, you're taking Makar and Kuemper all day long, and it's not even close.
And I think that's really emphasizes what I'm trying to say here, is that it's tough with goalies, man. Just draft one, get him on an entry-level deal, and hopefully it plays out of his mind.
Yeah, no, that's a really interesting point, Lepore. Let us know in the comments what you guys think. Like, would you sign Andre Vasilevsky if he was a free agent right now? Would you give him over $10 million a year, or would you have, some? Would you be stopping to think about that for a second and actually understand that maybe you don't need an Andre Vasilevsky after what we just saw the Colorado Avalanche do on their way to the Stanley Cup? But very, very interesting conversation with the goaltending.